Community Council Sanatana Dharma Banquet. Thank you all very much for coming. My name is Bhakta. I'll be your host for this evening. I'm the General Secretary for the Hindu Council of Victoria, the Hindu Community Council of Victoria. And on behalf of the Hindu Community Council, I would like to warmly welcome you all to our annual Sanatana Dharma program. As is customary in these functions, I'd like to acknowledge the original custodians of this land on which we're having this function, the indigenous tribes of the Kulin Nation. But more importantly than even that recognition and acknowledgement is the understanding that in fact all land, sea and sky is owned by the Supreme Creator, so we acknowledge Him also, especially in this multi-faith function. So our prayers and thanks tonight are directed to the Divine Personality for allowing us all the opportunity to celebrate with all of us our cultural diversities, our spiritual diversities, and our respect and love for one another. As a symbol of that respect and love, we will now perform a Vedic custom, which is the lighting of the lamps. And I would like to call the Hindu Community Council executive members to come and light the lamp for tonight, please. As the members are lighting the flames, I will explain just a little bit what the meaning behind this lighting of the flames is. The light symbolises knowledge. The Lord is the knowledge principle, Chaitanya, who is the source, the enlivener, and the illuminator of all knowledge. Hence, the light is worshipped as the Lord Himself. Knowledge removes ignorance, just as light removes darkness. Also, knowledge is a lasting inner wealth by which all outer achievements can be accomplished. Hence, we light the lamp to bow down to knowledge as the greatest form of wealth. Now you may ask, why don't we use a bulb or a tube light? That too could remove darkness. But the traditional oil lamp is a symbol of further spiritual significance. The oil, or in this case the ghee, in the lamp symbolises our vasana, or negative tendencies, and the wick, the ego. When lit by spiritual knowledge, the vasanas get slowly exhausted and the ego too finally perishes. The flame of a lamp always burns upwards. Similarly, we should acquire such knowledge as to take us towards higher ideals. While lighting the flame, we pray. I prostrate to the dawn and dusk lamp, whose light is knowledge principle, the Supreme Lord, which removes the darkness of ignorance by which God consciousness can be achieved in this life. So now, as the start of the program, I will call up Abhay Awasthi, who is the chairman of HCCV, the president of HCCV. Also, I'd like to call up Mr. Murali Neelamegam from the Chinmaya mission here in Melbourne. And finally, I'd like to call Mahamandaleshwar Swami Shankarananda Maharaj. So now I'd like to call on the president of HCCV, Pandit Awasthi, for his brief address to you all. Pandit.
Thank you, Bhaktaji. His Holiness Mahamandaleshwar Swami Shankarananda Maharaj, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, namaskar to you all. Tonight, we offer our very humble salutations at the lotus feet of Almighty God, the kind, the compassionate, all-pervading, for this wonderful evening of enlightening fellowship. I offer you again a very warm welcome and thank you for your presence here. We all are very fortunate to be living in this uniquely diverse society. Many nations, one country. And this evening, it is our contribution to celebrate this diversity. This event also acknowledges tonight the understanding, the respect, and acceptance of different faiths to one destination, one goal. As all religions and faiths relate to the same supreme consciousness we know as God. Sanatana Dharma, the first religion of the world, unique as it is itself a galaxy of diverse and plural ideas, thoughts, and actions with absolute and unbounded freedom. As a consequence, India has been a welcome home to a great many number of persecuted ethnic minorities for thousands of years, and accepted them with open arms. One of the most glittering pearls of the Hindu beliefs, originating from the Vedas, is a saying called Vasudeva Kutumbakam, meaning that as God's creations, all humanity is one family. There is no divide, no distinction, no discrimination on the basis of color, creed, race, or belief. Looking around the world today, it can safely be predicted that more than at any other time in our recent history, the notion of one family should be promoted and celebrated as unity in diversity. As we all Australians, bound together with one common goal, to work and build a peaceful, compassionate, and prosperous nation on the foundation of equality of opportunity and unrestrained freedom and rights. Tonight, I wish to briefly touch on the subject which is very dear and near to our hearts. It is sensitive, but it is important to have a public discussion on that. It is interfaith, multi-faith, inter-spirituality, and multiculturalism. We all are acutely aware of the political rushing and condemnation of multiculturalism in Greater Europe, particularly in Germany, France, and the United Kingdom, where it has been declared dead and as a failed experiment. Conversely, in Australia and in Canada, the same experiment, though somewhat shaky, was regarded as successful, still regarded as successful. We have managed to avoid catastrophic consequences on a large scale as a result of multiculturalism. Now, to develop this theme further, with more coherent interfaith dialogue, harmony in spirituality, it is important that we all have a start on the same footing. It is important again, I stress, that the faith leaders carry out an audit of where they stand compared to other religions and faiths. This self-examination, I believe, will reveal differences on the issue of equality of religions. If all faiths accept us that all religions are equal, there is no superior or inferior faith. Our community of all faiths and beliefs will flourish in the glory of equality. Australia as a whole is a great opportunity at this stage, at this very moment. We should grasp it, experience the nectar of goodwill, and show the world that multiculturalism is a successful experiment. Welcome you all again. I wish to quote two universal Vedic prayers. The first one is related to the country. It says, Kale Vashatu Pajana, Prithvi Shasasali, Desha Yatru Brahman Sampuja. Praise to God, our loving God. Bless the country that we live on, so that the Mother Earth can provide us with all our needs. May all citizens enjoy fearless life and equality. The second prayer is again the universal one. It says, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Sarve Bhajani Pashantu, Mahashti Bhagavata. May all the citizens live happily. May all remain free from disease and sickness. May all realize what is good. May no one be subjected to misery or grief. With these words, I thank you again for coming tonight and enjoy the evening. God bless Australia.
Thank you very much, Abhay. Now I'd like to call up one of the teachers at the Chinmaya Mission who would like to address the audience, Mr. Murali Neelamegam. Would you like to come back to that?
Good evening all. Can you hear me? Good evening all. How are you? I represent Chinmaya Mission Australia. I'm one of the members there. Our resident Acharya or teacher could not be present this evening. His name is Gautam, and I'm representing the mission on his behalf. It gives me a great pleasure and it's an honor to be invited to this wonderful evening. I think just listening to those wonderful words of wisdom, we as a community have come together, and I think it's important to understand the importance of religion and spirituality. Our mission was founded by His Holiness Swami Chinmaya. This is going back to 1952. He literally came down from the Himalayas to spread this knowledge. The knowledge of the self. The knowledge of one, where one can find peace and happiness within oneself. He was able to bring the Vedic knowledge to us, the common person. And without these teachers who have been able to take this knowledge and spread it and inculcate and educate us, I don't think we can find peace and happiness. We look for peace and happiness in the outer world, but it's within us that we can find peace and happiness. His Holiness Swami Shankarananda, when he founded the mission, one of his tenets, one of his strong message to all of us was to say that we need to bring maximum happiness to the maximum number of people. How do we do that? We do that by spreading the knowledge. We are very fortunate at Chinmaya Mission, that was founded by Swami Chinmaya many, many years ago, that we now have teachers who can impart this knowledge to us. Personally, I found that this journey for myself, living in this material world, I find that I can't seek and get that happiness. But it's beautiful when we have a religion, which is not just purely religion, but practice. practice that we can take into our practical way, our day-to-day living. At Chinmaya Mission, what we endeavor to do is to spread the knowledge. Spread the knowledge in a way we can also connect with people from all walks of life, from the young to the old. To do this, I think what's important, and in terms of the organization here, we need to be able to reach out to the maximum number of people. And I think in relation to what we are spreading, it's not just about going out there and impressing upon people that this is the way to live. It's about sharing. And I think we build it on one universal foundation, which is love. And that in itself is the universal language. So again, I'd like to thank and we provided this opportunity to be present here. And I think it's a wonderful cause. We can't do this alone. I think we can do it in great numbers. But for that to happen, we need for one community to come together. So thanks again. God bless and Hari Om.
Finally, I'd like to call upon my dear friend, author, spiritual teacher and mentor in the School of Kashmiri Shavas here in Australia, the founder of the Shiva Ashram in Mount Eliza, and the patron of the Hindu Community Council of Victoria. May I welcome and bring to the podium Mahamandaleshwar Swami Shankarananda Maharaj.
Welcome everybody. I've enjoyed the remarks so far. In fact, I had the good fortune to meet Swami Chinmaya many years ago. My guru sent me as an emissary to say hello to her, sharing his space in California when we were doing retreats, 1975. So welcome everyone tonight. My guru, Swami Patron, used to always begin his programs by saying in Hindi, Sabko bhai sammane ke saath prem se harik swagat. With great respect and love, I welcome you all with all my heart. And love, of course, is the natural affection of the heart. And respect, very much pertaining to what we're doing tonight, the acknowledgement, even the cherishing of our differences, and our right to have them. And even like this, with different faiths are represented and gathered, we honor these differences. And you could say these differences create a masala that makes the curry of our gathering more tasty. My guru always spoke about Sanatana Dharma, and he spoke from the platform of Sanatana Dharma. His term for it was the religion of man. And by that he meant it belongs to all humanity, this Sanatana Dharma. And he told a wonderful story, which every time I do something that involves interfaith dialogue, the story comes to mind. And so if you've heard me tell it before, please forgive me. Once there was a Shiva temple, and different Shaivite devotees came and visited the temple. But finally the Board of Trustees met, and they said, well, we're not getting enough people. What should we do? So they thought, and they said, let's turn it into a temple to Vishnu. They said, good idea. So they took out the Shiva Lingam, they put in a statue of Vishnu, and they went about it. The Shaivites stopped coming, a few Vaishnavas came. They chanted Hare Krishna. But after a while, they found there weren't enough of those. And so they had another meeting, and they said, well, what do we do? They said, well, let's turn it into a church. So they got rid of all the imagery, they brought in the crucifix and so on, and all the Hindus stopped coming, and a few Christians came. So after some time, the same problem arose. And they got together again and said, what do we do? We'll turn it into a mosque. So they got rid of all the imagery and it just was a mosque. And a few Muslims came. And still it wasn't sufficient. The Board of Trustees met again and said, what do we do now? And they thought and thought, and finally one of them said, I know. Let's turn it into a nightclub. So then the Christians came, the Hindus came, the Muslims came, the Buddhists came, the atheists came, everyone came. So the point of the story is very esoteric. The point of the story is that religion, which should unite us and which should make us feel connected, often separates us. And Sanatana Dharma is in search of that eternal law and that which is true for all people. And the normal dharmas are culture-specific. Caste duties, cultural duties, religious duties, these are different in every religion and in every culture and every time. But the notion of Sanatana Dharma says that behind all of these differences, there is something eternal, something that never changes, and something that is universal. What can that be? It can only be one thing. The Dharma of a human being to know God. The Dharma of a human being to know the true self. And this then is the spiritual quest. In Hinduism, we call it yoga, but in every tradition it exists, although it's defined differently. So whatever our worldly duties are, behind them there's always this universal duty. Every religion has this Sanatana Dharma at its core, though the core can be hidden and obscured by dogma and details and by limited understanding. To know God and to serve God in the form of humanity and all sentient beings is Sanatana Dharma. To live from the principle of love and kindness is Sanatana Dharma. To live from the point of view of truth is Sanatana Dharma. To live from the point of view of self-knowledge is Sanatana Dharma. And to have the widest, most inclusive, and most tolerant understanding is also Sanatana Dharma. To be prejudiced and mean-spirited and selfish is the opposite of Sanatana Dharma. To be intolerant of other ways, other peoples, other paths, their beliefs, is the opposite of Sanatana Dharma. Hindus don't really like the term Hinduism. For our religion, we prefer the name Sanatana Dharma. And I'm proud to say that Hinduism is essentially a wonderful and universal faith. Still not all of it is Sanatana Dharma. There's still Hindu fundamentalism, Hindu intolerance, Hindu bigotry, alongside of Hindu greatness. But within Hinduism are some of the most perfect expressions of Sanatana Dharma. Just one example from that most glorious text, the Upanishads. From the Chandogya Upanishads, it says, within the city of Brahma, which is the body, there is the heart. And within the heart, there is a little house. This house has the shape of a lotus. And within it dwells that which is to be sought after, inquired about, and realized. The Upanishad is talking about the inner self. And so, as a Swami, it's my Dharma, my Sanatana Dharma, my personal Dharma, to always talk about practicing. We've already heard about it tonight. That which turns a religion from mere lip service and ritual to something living and real is spiritual practice. And whatever our religion is, we should spend some time contemplating the highest, and contemplating the truth within, the spiritual essence of who we are, the divinity within ourselves. And every time we do that, whether we're Hindus or Christians or Muslims or Buddhist or anything else, we refresh and enliven not only ourselves, but also our religion. So once again, with great respect and love on this occasion of this yearly event, I welcome you all with all my heart. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Swami. So we'd like to thank our guest speakers for tonight and give them a round of applause as they I've been asked to mention a few things. In regards to the achievements that HCCV has had over the past couple of years, working on behalf of the Hindu community here in Victoria. Now, each one of you can see that we've got your little brochure there on the table, and it's on the left-hand side inside. It lists some of the achievements that HCCV has done, and I'd just like to draw your attention to those points. Also, by the way, you also see that there is a magazine, the Baby Voice magazine in front of you. It's got $2 on it, but they're free for everybody here tonight. So please take it down with you and read it. As you can see from this program brochure, there are quite a few areas which HCCV has been making quite a considerable difference for the positive for the lives of various people in the Hindu community. I won't go over all the points, they're listed for you, but it's important to note that these activities, like the Hindu chaplaincy, Vedic education programs, youth services, interfaith outreach work, as well as our own Baby Voice magazine, are initiatives that we've set up to bring the Hindu community together and to advertise what is happening within the Hindu community. One of the hardest things to do is to get everybody together. So the Vedic Voice actually helps in that, and it shows what all the different Hindu communities are doing and are hoping to achieve. One of the things that we're very proud of and we're wanting to get a lot of support from is that HCCV, the Hindu Community Council, in conjunction with the Hare Krishna movement, are looking at starting their first primary school for Hindu students. So this will be happening within the next year or 2 years in the Hoppers Crossing Western Suburbs region. And we're looking for expressions of interest from people who have children that would like to go to that school. Recently, a similar school that we have for the Hindu population in London, a school called the Krishna Awassthi School, was voted as one of the top public schools in England. And recently, on her Diamond Jubilee, the Queen visited that school and was very impressed by the students' participation and the academic standard that that school sets. So as you can see, as far as the Hindu chaplaincy, education programs, youth services, interfaith work, it all takes a lot of manpower and finance to support and maintain, as well as to grow and develop. And as was pointed out by our three speakers, it is imperative that the Hindu community grows together, that we start working together on projects like this. So the Hindu Community Council of Victoria is dedicated to actually pushing this on more and more, working with the various Hindu communities and interfaith groups. We're very fortunate to have had the support of the Victorian Multicultural Commission so far. But with the economic times that we live in, we can't rely on that income. So we reach out to the broader community and our Hindu brothers and sisters here in Melbourne to assist us in this most vital work. Tonight we sincerely ask you to give a small donation towards the work that HCCV is doing within our community in so many ways. And you will each find an envelope on your table and ask you to give generously. As you come up to the bakery for your meal, we ask you to deposit your envelope in a box which is just along the side there, marked donations. Also, we ask that all Hindu organisations who are already members of the Hindu Community Council, or those who would like to join the Hindu Community Council, please register this year. Our Treasurer Judge was going to be the one that was going to be looking out for that, so now I'm going to call on our President, Abhay, Awasthi, wherever you are. Prabhu, that job has now been handed over to you, as our Treasurer is not here at the moment. So, anybody, any of the organisations that are here tonight that would like to register, please see Abhay Awasthi. I hope you all enjoyed the meal, and it was provided by the Hare Krishna movement, otherwise known as the kitchen religion. We have many restaurants throughout the world that we're known for our vegetarian cuisine. I hope you enjoyed it. In particular, I'd like to especially thank the catering manager for the Hare Krishna movement in Melbourne, Adrian, Dr. Adrian Prabhu is just over there. He cooked up a feast this morning. Thanks very much, Adrian. That's really wonderful. On behalf of the Hindu Community Council of Victoria, I'd like to thank you all for coming tonight. And I thank you all for any donations that you might have given. I hope you enjoyed yourselves tonight. Thank you very much again. I'd like to thank all those volunteers who helped here tonight, especially the devotees from the Shiva Ashram and also the devotees from the Hare Krishna organisation.